we then, after, as I said, we went to Pokrovsk, and that was our staging area. And I remember that night we were waiting for the official order to head over to the hangars to then mount up and head to the front. And I was looking up at the stars, dude. And so I'm in Idaho now. I'm not in Colorado. I live here on my family's property. It's a little cabin they own that they sometimes come up to during the seasons when they have time off from work. I live up here. So here in where I'm at in Idaho, I get to see the stars. You know, there's no light pollution. I get to see the stars up here in the mountains. It's beautiful. But there in Ukraine, I didn't get to, I got to see the stars only like really a couple times.
Yeah.
But the only time I ever got to see the stars was because they were polluted by they weren't polluted by light from cities, they were polluted by light from war, you know, raging fires, cities under attack, you know, destroyed villages.
Diesel in the air. Yeah, it's crazy.
Diesel, yeah. Smoke. It was funny, like and that night I didn't get to see the stars. I didn't get to see the stars. That night it was just pitch black, and by the light, there was only lights of a few cigarettes, stuff like that. And you felt as if you were almost alone in it, regardless of how many guys surrounded you, because everyone was now in their own head. They knew what was coming. You know what's coming, but and you don't know what's going to happen. That's what's scary. If you knew what was going to happen, honestly, it wouldn't be as scary. It's like in Afghanistan. You know what's going to happen. You know you're going to win. You know one of your guys might get blown up by an IED, lose his leg. He'll get a Purple Heart, and he'll get disability for the rest of his life. No big deal, right? He's all set. Not Ukraine, dude. Not Ukraine. There's nothing to save you. Nothing to save you. You lose a limb, your limb's gone. Though you'll get to stay at a nice hospital in the Carpathians, but that's it. You know?
Yeah.
It's up to you to still get home. Now on one leg. Or you die. They're not gonna come for your body. They're not gonna come for your fucking body. Your body's gonna be left there. Whatever's left of it. You know? There's nothing there to save you. It's not Call of Duty, dude. You know, I'm not a huge gamer myself. My hobbies aren't. I've never really been a big guy in video games. I don't have those hobbies. You know, I've seen a lot of guys comment like, "Oh, these fucking Westerners don't realize that it's not Call of Duty." I already knew that going there, dude. I already knew it was gonna be fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But you never know how terrible it is until it's actually right in front of you. You know, so when I was so I knew it wasn't gonna be Call of Duty, but I tried to downplay it in my head as much as I could because I was scared. You know, I was scared. But I felt expendable, so no one else had to be there. And I just kind of accepted that. And I realized that with what the first true battle that I'd be in that was coming up, that was kind of the whole motto of my unit was, you're cannon fodder. You're expendable. You're expendable for this greater cause, you know.
And they said
whether
that,
or not
that you're cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. But that night, I did feel like I was alone, and that I was, this might be the last night. And so I was sitting there on the steps of this church that had been abandoned and was kind of caved in. It was old. It wasn't hit by any shells. It was just old. I was sitting on the steps of there. I had a cigarette, and it was funny. I decided to poke around inside this church before we were gonna leave, and I was digging around in the shelves and stuff and the dressers, and I found this I saw this like little like blue cloth sticking out, you know, and like, what's that? So I opened it up, and came out on the floor was this Ukrainian flag, you know, and it was like old, thin, one of those cheap ones they might have sold on a you know, curbside in Kyiv. But to me at that moment, that little flat Ukrainian flag kind of meant everything to me. So I kind of scooped it up. I took it as a sign, you know, like this might be my fate. This might be what I was meant to do.
Yeah.
Even if it meant I was gonna die. Maybe this was where I was supposed to be at this moment in my life. And so I think that was like fully when I accepted that my death now is inevitable. It's just how am I going to go out handling it? So, and but I was just so scared. So as I was holding that flag, I then took off my plate carrier and stuffed it in the back. So I carried it with me on my back. And then that's when one of my guys was looking for me. He said, Justin, where the fuck you been? We're going now. We're going. I said, where are we going? He said, we're going to war. Come on. And I was like, it was almost like symbolic. I was sitting there on the steps and he was kind of looking up at me with this pissed off look, like, like, where the fuck have you been? Come on, everyone's leaving.
Yeah.
And I felt like at that moment I had a decision, even though I didn't. Even though I did it, I was halfway across the world, 1,000,000 miles away from my home. My life, my 9 to 5, my little apartment, my hobbies, my activities. None of that existed anymore. But for some reason, I still felt like I had a decision. And I said, okay, all right, let's go. Yeah, let's go.
But if you said right there and then, if you said, I'm not going, what do you think your fate would have been?
I felt like truly it probably would have been worse, maybe, if perhaps they would have said, I feel like they probably would have gone pissed, because that's another part down the line. That's another part of the story that we'll come to.
Right.
That'll make sense later. But I feel like if I said no, I probably still would have been forced to go.
Yeah.
Or I feel like perhaps if I was truly told, because this did happen later down the road to another American that joined our unit who got scared. And even when he found out we're just going to the front line, he got scared. He was actually left to his own devices to go back home. And that was when we had gone back to the front line, but we had gone way, way, way further east. And he still had to get home on his own. So, and like I said, I had no means, no money, no nothing. As much as I wanted to go home, I'd say at that moment, my mom did cross my mind. I almost felt like, like in that decision, I was kind of like viewing it in my head, like it was almost like I could see my mom right then and there. And then I had my guy, my squad member, his name was Woody, and we called him Mad Dog, but we always went by nickname. That's why I have my nickname Road on my social media handles, because we always went by random nicknames. His name was Mad Dog. I felt like right there I had Mad Dog and my mom kind of like right there. And I almost felt like I was looking at my mom. And it was almost like I kind of softly said, sorry, Mom. Sorry. I gotta go. Like I said that in my head. So that's what I said. Yeah, let's go, dude. So that's when I came over to the hangars, and and I think that's what was very reality check war with another reality check with war was how huge it is, like how brutal and raw it is.